let's start with housing, which is a very important issue. Building more houses is something that almost all parties have generally indicated. But my question to the parties is, how do you intend to do that? What is the timeline that we are looking for? And how many houses a year, where, and does it meet the gap between demand and supply? And also, do you intend to modify the empty buildings all over Eindhoven, converting them into houses? And there is a law that you propose that people have to live in the houses that they buy for 4 years. So are difficult personal scenarios such as divorce and maybe moving out of the country all taken into account? And what do the parties that oppose that have to say about that? Now let's start with the
I can
PvDA.
start right away. Yeah, well, this, of course, for us, this is a top priority. It's a very important topic. Our alderman, I said it correctly, I think, alderman, Yassine Torenoglu, he has built, well, thanks to him, he's responsible for housing. Thanks to him, we have built close to 8,000 houses in the last 4 years. And a lot of temporary homes, a lot of things done. For the next coming years, we want to build 3,000 houses per year. Is it enough? No. Some parties here tonight will say, build, 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 like that is the only solution. Yes, we want to build. Yes, we want to speed up building, but the truth is the housing market is broken. And many of the parties here don't want to take the measures needed to do so. We do. We advocate, for example, for many of our projects a 40-40-20 ruling, meaning 40% social rent, 40% middle segment, 20% expensive segment. We want to make sure that the housing corporations build 80% of what we need, and we want to use all the instruments, because we are very limited by what The Hague, the national government, is offering us, that speculators, investors cannot do as they please, and that they are controlled. Yeah, there's much more to say. Yeah.
Yeah, you said a lot already, and we can cope with that because we're in a coalition. And exactly, the first, second, and third priority for us is build, build, build. And how are we going to do that? Well, different than we did so far. 3,000 houses a year, that's a goal we have to fulfill. And how do you do that? Well, make it easier on developers, give them some more space, but also look at innovation in process, materials and stuff like that. If there is one region in the world that can do that, we are that region. We have to look at technical innovation for shopping malls, for example, where buildings are empty, and convert them into temporary or not, but houses as well. We have new living concepts. It's basically, it is redesign life, the way we are living, the way we are working. And let's do that together. Processes, permits, all that things you can do in the short run.
Yes, I'd like to add to that we think that it's important to build, but it's also important to look at the buildings that are not used properly at the moment. So we want to focus on that really fast, because we have an urgent problem with the housing, and we have to be creative with all the buildings that are not used at this moment. So that's what I think, that the timeline is really urgent for being creative with that. The problem has been built on for years, and so we have to really solve it now. And we also really want to collaborate with economic system partners to see how we can be creative and be progressive in the solution of the building, and in the solution of really finding new purposes for the building, for not only international, it's of course a wide problem. Also for the students, we have to focus on them for the building. That's our point. Thank you.
I think you all know people will find it increasingly difficult to find affordable housing. Slum landlords and speculators have become richer at the expense of society at a large scale by asking way too much rent and buying all the houses. GroenLinks wants a just approach to the housing crisis. We come up with creative and radical ideas to do so. For example, our manifesto for the station area. And as opposed to right-wing parties like PvDA or CDA, not only for the higher incomes, but also for the lower incomes, 40%. Furthermore, we continue our efforts for sufficient and affordable student housing. Together with students, GroenLinks already took action to build more student houses, and we set up a rental team that helps students to come up for the rental rights if they pay too much for the student rooms. And we are really proud of it because many students are already helped by this rental team and got their money back because they paid too much. We want to continue these efforts for more student housing, but also for the other parties in the city.
Affordable houses. It's nearly impossible to find it in these times, especially for families, for starters, where they can go. And we support the plan to build high buildings in the centrum of the city to increase the high density. We supported a lot of social houses. We are for social houses, GroenLinks, and we think that everybody needs a roof above their head. A house is a right, it's not a speculation. And so you have me on your side, absolutely. We also want to use empty buildings and relocate. There are many shops that are closing, that are empty, because everything is going online since the pandemic. Then we have to rebuild these empty spaces and make it affordable for the one who are searching houses. We also need the double of the official people that are working at Municipal Hall to make this possible. It goes really fast.
Yes, thank you. D66, among other parties, VVD, CDA, we initiated to allocate more budget to speed up the housing projects in the city. And earlier the city set a goal for itself to build at least 3,000 houses a year. We have seen that now we can now only build half of that. So we need to speed up. The city council agreed with shorter building permits, procedures from 26 back to 8 weeks, which helps a lot, of course. And we see potential for room rental in existing houses who have one or a few rooms left. And unfortunately, this is right now only restricted to 2 rooms per house, since the majority of the city council wanted to make stricter rules on room renting in Eindhoven. And D66 thinks there should be more room for that. Of course, you have to tackle the noise and those kind of things, but not exclude a form of living. Thank you.